All right, Prentice here with Detail in Progress. I'm at Super Detail today talking about taking care of the paint on your car. These are products that a professional would typically use, but they are definitely enthusiast friendly for the do-it-yourselfer. So let's talk about first, obviously you're going to wash the car before you do any of this. And then we're going to come back and remove any of the surface contamination that might be on the car. Now you ask, what is surface contamination? It's all the stuff that doesn't come off the paint when you're washing it. Now we've all washed a car and make it look beautiful, and you come back and you feel it still has sort of a rough feeling to it. Well, that's all contamination that comes out of the air and lands on the paint and gets stuck there, but it won't come off with the car wash. Sometimes it can be forms of iron oxide or ferrous oxide deposits from rail dust, from shipyards, where there's grinding going on and there's little particles of iron floating in the air. That can actually rust into the paint, and it will not come off with washing. And then there's also like paint overspray and just a myriad of other contaminants that can float out of the sky onto your car from day to day. So we take that off with what we call clay products. So the original clay product is a great example of this is the P&S Perfect Putty. This is a bar of, it's actually plastic resin, don't tell anybody. It's not really clay, but it's a plastic resin that you massage into a pancake and you, with lubrication, wipe it along the surface of the car. It actually removes anything that's sticking up on top of the paint, kind of erases it. You want to use a lubricant for that. I'm looking over here because I want to talk to you about using the P&S Paint Gloss, which is a great lubricant for this product, okay? So you wash the car, you dry it, you come back, you squirt an area with a paint gloss, and you come back with the clay. Now, one thing I recommend with clay is break it into thirds. Only use 1/3 of the bar at the time, because guess what? If this falls on the ground, you got to throw it away, because this is going to pick up grit from the ground, and you don't want to run that on your car. It's going to scratch the heck out of it. So, and then as you're using clay, imagine this is the pancake that I was talking about. You do a 12 by 12 section, a 1 foot by 1 section, go both ways with a little bit of pressure, overlap your passes a little bit, and that's going to make that area clean. Wipe it off with a towel, like one of our Korean plushes or our Elites, and move on to the next section. Do one section at a time. If you're claying like this, you're not doing anything, okay? It's not thorough enough. You have to use a back and forth crisscross pattern when you're claying, and that goes with the bar and also with the clay media products as well. So bar clay, this is the heavy duty, and we also have the light duty, which is a gray. That's the OG that we started with back in the 90s. It changed our life. We didn't have to buff cars anymore to get the contamination off the paint. We could do it with this. But if you want to get a simpler way to remove that contamination, that's where you get into what we call the clay media products, which is basically a polymerized rubber that's applied to a surface like this sponge, or for example, this mitt, or for example, a towel. This is all the same kind of product that's applied to different ways to apply it to the car. These are called Holey Clay. That's our cute little reference to the old Batman series. Anyway, the reason that this has holes into it is that the holes will gather up those contaminants as you move this back and forth across the surface, removing the contamination. I will say that when you're using these products, the clay media products, you want to also use that back and forth crisscross motion for thoroughness. Again, if you're just wiping wholesale like this across the surface of the car, you're not really getting all the contaminants. You need to take a big section, go one way, go the other way. Of course, you're using your lubrication, your P&S spray and shine, paint gloss, which is going to be great for that. So there's a couple of really cool ways to get the car decontaminated. The main benefit of these clay media products versus traditional bar clay, if you drop this on the ground, pick it up, stick it in your wash bucket, wash it around a little bit, or rinse it off with a hose, it's completely clean and safe to use again. You're going to get somewhere between 100 and 200 uses out of these guys, okay? So they last a long time. A great value. So there's that. So once you've got that done, you want to put some protection on the vehicle. A very simple way to put protection on the vehicle is to use P&S Bead Maker. P&S Bead Maker is a ceramic infused sealant, spray sealant. You basically spray it on the car and wipe it off. And for wiping it off, I like to use the Elite, because the Elite has sort of the low pile side for that initial wipe, and then the plush side for that follow-up to buff off all that extra streaks that might be there. Some people prefer just to use a fully plush microfiber towel, and that would be one of our Korean plush towels. We have three different GSMs on that, so whatever one you prefer. But the bead maker, the bead maker is going to be a great protectant. If you use that every 2 to 3 months, your car is going to look great and it's going to be protected all year long. And you can use this anytime you want after you wash the car. You don't have to clay before using this. So let's say you do the full-on wash, clay, and put the bead maker on there, but then 2 months from now you wash your car again and you just come back and spray some bead maker, use one of the towels to wipe it off. It's going to bring back that shine. And bead maker, we have found, does accumulate on the surface. If you use it wash after wash, it's going to accumulate on the surface of the paint and add more protection. Another thing you can do, if you want a shortcut, you can use this as your lubricant, and we'll do what we call a clay and seal. And this is great news for professionals as well as enthusiasts. For the professional, this is a very quick way to clay and seal a car for a customer at a sort of a discount price versus your full-on exterior detail, or maybe the car just doesn't need all that extra treatment. It just needs to be cleaned and shined up a little bit. So you use the bead maker as your lubricant, spray it on there, do your back and forth crisscross motion with your clay media or your bar clay, and then come back, wipe that off with a towel. Guess what? It's protected. You're done. You don't have to come back with this again because this is what you used as your lubricant. So that's another way to do it. If you want to be thorough, go ahead and do your clay step and your protection steps separately, because that's going to get you more thorough results. But there is that shortcut if you need it. So that's kind of how we deal with the outside of the car.